What's up, and welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, Eslam, aka Rock Goddess Son, accompanied by Dan Papa Son Killer and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
How's it
It's
going?
going fantastic. It's good to be back. Feel like we're staggering. One of us
Yeah,
has to miss a week.
Yeah, it's like I remember making the joke that we'd all like missed we'd all missed like a day and there was at least two of us.
yeah,
And then we all finally got together and then immediately after it was just one of us.
yeah. I know that was wild. Um, yeah, I had my holiday last week, and
How do you pronounce that, by the way?
Eid al Adha,
Okay. What
yeah,
was the other one that was happening? Wasn't
Eid
there
al
another holiday?
Fitr. That's the first one. So
Wasn't
there's
there okay, was there another one? Because I read there was the different name.
no, there's only two Eids.
Okay.
So there's Eid al-Fitr, which is the Eid right after Ramadan,
Mhm.
and then there's Eid al-Adha, which is right after the pilgrimage.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a celebration of like the story of Abraham slaughtering the lamb instead of his son.
Hmm.
So then we sacrifice a lamb instead of our firstborn sons. Because that
Yeah.
would be really really bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There'd be no Muslims left. We'd just be
Yeah,
like, all
no,
right,
yeah.
all the dudes are gone.
Yeah.
You know.
We could just get rid of the lambs. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
I want to just shout out Khalil for covering in that last episode, man. That man is the best. He comes in clutch all the time. I'd
yeah.
love to have him on the
Dan and I
podcast.
were just talking about him earlier. I was
Yeah.
like, I really want to do an episode with him.
Yeah, because Eslam is yet
I
to
have
they might
yet,
be the same person.
yeah, I have, yeah, dude. I was about to say, you guys have never seen me and Khalil in
Yeah.
the same room. Um,
Yeah.
so
That's crazy.
I put on blackface and I do a podcast episodes as a
Oh
different
God.
man.
Oh man, it's like Robert Downey Jr.
Oh
Yeah.
man, Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Tropic
The
Thunder.
dude
Yeah.
playing a dude, pretending to be a dude.
I don't remember much about that movie except Booty Sweat. That's
Yo,
one of the,
I
that's like the
reference-
only thing I remember.
I
from that movie.
reference Booty Sweat all the time. Like it's my favorite thing to like. It's the
That movie
best.
has so many one-liners, though. I always remember Lead Farmer whenever I'm doing my gun hobbies. I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. Like, there's so many. And then the head movies, whenever I'm talking about dreams, I'm like, me and my head movies.
See, I have no idea what you're talking about. Right?
That's when what was it? Was Robert Downey?
Simple Jack. It was Ben Stiller's
Ben
playing
Stiller.
a
Yeah,
character.
never go full
the movie.
retard. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, man.
Good shit. Can't make those movies now. Oh boy, but we're not here to talk about Tropic Thunder. We're not here to talk about air fryers. We are here to talk about Black Mirror season 6. Um, Black Mirror is to me one of the greatest anthology series ever, at least
not
of
bad.
our generation. You know, and its predecessor, The Twilight Zone.
The greatest.
It is the greatest. I went back and watched multiple
Yeah.
episodes, and while I was watching those episodes, I'm like, this show did that, and this show did it.
Every
like
show
this.
copied the Twilight Zone.
It really
Every
did.
show.
Like the Twilight Zone was
And
ahead of
movies.
its time,
Yep.
and it was phenomenal. And I love Black Mirror because it's reflecting our society today with technology, with racism, with whatever it is, and they did it again in this season. And there's a lot of fun things to talk about with these episodes. Without the spoilers, what did you guys like? Your initial thought about this season? Like, was it like because we had a break from Black Mirror because of COVID, so it's been like 2 or 3 years since season 5, and now we get season 6, 5 episodes. Like, what were your initial thoughts about them?
My first thought was like, damn, they got some pretty good actors. I feel like every episode had like a big name this season. And I don't necessarily remember that in the other seasons. Maybe I'm just my dementia's kicking in, but I was like, oh dang.
I
Yeah,
think
like
in the earlier seasons, it was mostly like not famous actors because the show wasn't as big. But now the show's pretty big, so like I feel like from like season 4 on, like at least 1 or 2 episodes had like a big name actor
Yeah.
in it because the show has become so popular. So now they can draw
Well,
in
that
like
and
A-listers.
the purchase of Netflix. Remember season 1 and 2? It was just this weird anthology series made
It
by
was
like,
BBC. Yeah, yeah,
and then it gained so much popularity. Netflix bought it and then put American actors in it.
yeah, yeah.
For real, they had
True.
like Salma Hayek in that first episode. I was like, oh
Yeah.
snap! Like I
Salma
haven't
Hayek
seen her in a
and
while.
the
She
other girl
still got
from
it.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I forget her name, but she was also great.
yeah. But overall, I think I liked it. I don't know. I wasn't like blown away with some of them, but
Hmm.
for the most part, I liked them, and I thought they all had like an interesting message. All the characters were like pretty interesting. And maybe it's just also because, like I said, there's like name brand actors now. It's not like you know, B-listers or just random people from other countries. So I connected a little more.
Hmm.
But overall, I thought it was a fun season. Kind of short, but still fun.
I'm happy they're keeping them short. I don't need 8 episodes. Like before they used to do like 3 or 4. I'm good with like between the range of like 3 to 5 episodes per season. Like that's good enough, you know.
Especially
Um,
for an anthology where you're not really building to anything. So it's just
yeah,
like
yeah,
choose the good ones. Like
yeah. Choose your best stories, develop them as much as you can, and then make really good episodes. Um, for me, it was nice getting back into the world of Black Mirror. There was like 2 episodes to me that were like very predictable. Nadia and I were like calling out all like the things that were gonna happen and as they happened.
Definitely.
And then there was one really standout episode to me that I really enjoyed. It was my favorite one, and we'll talk about it later. But for overall, the whole season wasn't that bad. It's not. It wasn't the best Black Mirror season that we've had. But I did enjoy it, getting back into the rhythm of Black Mirror. So looking forward to season 7.
With me, it's like it's two things. So it's like one, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's good. It's Black Mirror. I always like Black Mirror, but on like that Black Mirror scale, it wasn't good. Like
Mm.
it's like compared to other shows, it was a good show.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to what Black Mirror is,
Has done
it
before.
didn't
Yeah,
it didn't hit that level.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying? So
I
totally
get
agree
that.
with
I
that.
get that. Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely get that.
So it's like there were a few things that like were I enjoyed it. Yes, like Eslam, like you said, there was a lot that was predictable.
Hmm.
There was one episode that I did like, and I didn't like it because oh I like Black Mirror. I liked it because oh I like this genre, and
Mm.
Black Mirror just so happened to do this genre
Yeah.
in one of their episodes. So that's one of the reasons why I liked it.
I wonder if I can guess which one it is, but
It's not. I mean, if you think about it a little bit, it's not that
yeah,
hard.
yeah,
But
yeah,
and not for nothing, another one that was pretty predictable. But
yeah,
but it's still, it was just like I enjoyed it for what it
yeah,
was. But nothing's, in my opinion, nothing's gonna top seasons 1 and 2, and I think 3. The original BBC
yeah,
Black
yeah,
Mirror was
yeah, yeah.
better than Netflix taking over Black Mirror.
Mm.
Those
So
really pushed the boundaries. Like they
They
had like
did, especially the
society
like
norms
season
and
one,
everything.
episode 1 was wild.
Especially the pig. I was
dude,
gonna
that
say the pig
exactly.
one.
Yeah,
That's still the one to top.
yeah,
You knocked it out on
yeah,
the first episode.
yeah.
That's
That
still the
shit
one to
was
beat.
wild.
Yeah,
And then
my
and then they jumped into technology stuff, and that shit was wild too. But then
yeah.
like
Well, that one
and
had tech in it too. Remember, because they were like they did a whole like a 3D CGI pig that made it look real because the
yeah,
cameras, like there was a whole thing like
no,
they tried to put that in there, and then it's just overall. I mean, season 1. I remember season 2 had some good ones. I remember I liked White Bear a lot,
yeah,
which was another one.
yeah. White
My
Bear.
favorite
Yeah.
one was History of Man, where the guy looks back on his memories and he's like,
Hmm.
"I know my wife
Yes,
cheated."
that's
That one
another good
was
one.
like
Yeah, that one was
so
That
amazing.
good
was a
to me.
really good one. Yeah.
Like there
And
was a
it
lot
turns
of
out she did cheat at the end. It's like the little minutest clues. Like I knew
yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know.
There was episodes with that eye technology and like other little technologies that like really showed you like the dystopia that can happen, and it was just like it was very amazing. Like and then the American one had really like sometimes they had really gems of an episode, and then the rest of the seasons were like meh.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed, like there was one episode about the
The
like the
robots.
not the well, yeah, Metalhead
Yeah.
was one of my
Because I
favorite
never, I didn't
episodes.
like that. I remember you liked that one. I was like, I didn't see the appeal of that one.
I really loved that one, and it kind
Yeah.
of comes back in this season, and I will show
Yep.
you guys, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
This had a lot of references to Black Mirror itself this
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They had a reference to White Bear. Yeah.
I
They
always
did.
like the idea of blocking somebody too, like in real life, like just you're static. I don't have to hear your
Yeah.
voice anymore.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that one was wild, like his sentence. But like the social media one where you got rated as a
Yep.
person,
Yep.
like that
oh,
shit
That was a
was
good
like
episode.
that
That was a
shit
good
was so
episode.
crazy. That shit gave me anxiety, bro. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
Like thinking about living in a world like that where you just get rated, and if everybody rates you bad and you got like 2 stars or 1 star, you're just fucked. You can't get a loan. You can't get a. And it's funny because like it was like I feel like they were talking about like because China has like this credit system
Yep.
that does almost
It's
that.
that. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like it kind of exists and like they take it and kind of like put it up to like 100 and yeah. But Black Mirror season 6. Let's jump in. Um, episode 1, which was really great. Honestly, I thought it was
Yeah.
really funny.
I really like the concept a lot.
oh,
Joan is
totally.
awful. Um, yeah, the concept was really cool. Like, it's funny that like signing like the agreement for like a streaming service, they're like, oh, we
I
can
really
use your
like that.
likeness and like
Yeah.
we
We
can do
you like
whatever the fuck we want with it.
No.
that one
Um,
point where are we doing spoilers or are we just talking
yeah,
about it?
we're straight spoilers
That
now.
that
Let's
one
just jump.
point where Sama Hayek was just like, I didn't think I was signing over to have my likeness shit in a church. Like
Yeah,
I was
she's
dying. Like this episode was
It
so
was so
funny,
good. Yeah.
and when the boyfriend found out that like
yeah.
what she was saying to her therapist, I was like, this concept is crazy.
This
Yeah.
is wild. Um, but yeah, like this could happen because no one reads those like fucking things, so they can
Not
literally
at all.
put anything. They're like, we own your firstborn,
Yep.
and you just signed it away, and
Yep.
like it's like, all right, well, fuck.
But I get to stream on multiple devices at once, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, in 4K.
Yeah.
So
No ads. Okay.
yeah.
They do it on purpose. They make it like 500 pages just
Oh,
so
yeah.
like, nobody's gonna read that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this episode was really interesting, and then it was like a world in a world in a world. Um, so it was a lot of fun, and then you find out this version of Joan isn't even the real version, and I love that Michael Cera was in there.
I saw
for
it. I
like
was like,
2
why is
minutes.
Michael Cera in this? And
Random
then he's like, don't you
character.
realize I'm based off of Michael Cera?
I was,
That's
I
not
was
really
like,
Michael
oh shit.
Cera.
I was like,
Oh,
that
man.
was hilarious, and like
Yeah.
it's like AI also, which is like become really popular in the
Yep.
past like 2 years. Shout out
Yeah,
Chat
everything's
GPT.
AI.
Yeah, no, it was a super interesting episode. Very funny.
I was kind of hoping a little bit to see. I can't remember the actress's name, but the person who was
Salma
playing
Hayek?
Salma Hayek. No, the
Oh.
person who was
Oh,
playing Salma
oh,
Hayek in her version.
Oh,
oh,
oh fuck.
I
It
can't
was
remember.
another
I can't remember
famous
who
No,
it was.
actor.
Yeah, it was somebody who's very famous. I just
Yeah.
they just show the image at one point. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see that too.
Yeah, that would be
just like
hilarious.
even if it was just one scene. You know?
Oh shit. What? Ah, I forgot her name, man. Oh well.
I can't even picture who it is. I just remember it was somebody famous. But yeah,
It was like a white blonde lady, I forget. Whatever. Alrighty. Episode 2, Lock Henry. Was this your favorite, Dan?
yes, it was.
Yeah.
It's a horror episode. It's
Yeah.
based off of horror. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but yes, predictable.
Lock Henry. Not even the most predictable in this season, but
No, it wasn't, but it was definitely predictable. Yeah.
yeah. But it was a lot of fun also.
I liked
was
it,
just it was a very interesting concept. Yeah, so like the father and the mother were the fucking serial killers, and it was just like okay. And and when she saw the video, she's coming in with the fucking drill dancing, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, these people are crazy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. I was like, my God.
they're acting like their Little Caesars pizza hot and ready. He's just like, "Ooh, put on the mask and boom, it's go time.
Yeah, no. It was,
One thing that I really got me was I didn't expect her to die at the end. I guess that kind of like got me a little. I was like, oh damn,
I didn't
she really
expect her
died.
to die that way, but they did foreshadow it.
Hmm.
You know,
I missed that.
when you say who do you mean her? Are you talking about the mom or the
girlfriend.
girlfriend? Okay, the
The
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
also her not having eyebrows like freaked me out. I was just like, where are
It
your
was a little
eyebrows?
distracting at first, but then I
Yeah,
was
it
cool
was
with
very
it.
distracting.
Yeah,
I was like, are you
that's like the new
related to
craze.
Kane?
Cut
Somehow?
them or bleach them. So weird.
At first, the moment I saw it, I was like, all right, it's gonna be a little hard to tell your expressions. But then it wasn't too bad, so I kind of just got around it. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, they because he foreshadowed it saying like they didn't think anything because like a lot of people went missing and they didn't think anything of it at
Yeah, people
first
go
because
missing
like
out there all the time. Yeah.
because of like the terrain and people would like could fall and die and whatever, and that's literally what happened to her. She just hit hers,
Yeah,
smacked her head.
but there was that, and then the whole thing with the mom. Like for some reason, they really sat on that mask the first
Yeah,
time they introduced it for like way too long. And anytime you see
I
that
didn't
in a
even
horror
notice
movie,
that. Yeah,
yeah, from watching so many horror movies, anytime you
yeah,
see something like if you sit on something for too long, it's like okay, there is a twist. Now you start
yeah,
looking for the twist. You start trying
yeah.
to think, and then they're like, oh, there's a bunch of tapes. I was like, okay, tapes. They're reviewing stuff. Okay, and then it's like you kind of like watch it. There's like you have to really like pay attention, but it's like you kind of catch it.
Yeah, totally. Still fun concept. Like
No,
even
I
though it
loved
was
it.
Yeah, I mean,
predictable, it was definitely fun to watch.
it wasn't a bad episode. It was
No.
definitely like fun, but it was a little long, but it was all right. All right. Episode 3, Beyond the Sea.
This
The
one was
most
actually
The most predictable.
predictable
Yeah,
episode
easily.
they've ever made. like
Easily.
yes, it was super predictable. Interesting concept, especially since it
I
was happening in a different universe in like 1969. Like I was just like they made these like super advanced like robots that these people couldn't connect their
It was
consciousness.
1969.
Yeah, it was like their
Okay.
version of like 1969.
Okay.
And like these two astronauts are in a mission in space that's taking what like 16 years or something. And they
Something like
were
that.
still 4 years out to their mission or whatever, and they built them like identical robots on Earth where they get in this machine and their consciousness gets transmitted to these robots, and they're living with their family wherever while their bodies are traveling through space.
The
And then
Macaulay
like
Culkin's brother.
surrogate body on
yeah.
Earth for them, pretty much, so they could continue life.
Yeah, so and then they anytime there's an issue happens, the watch beeps, they go back, they check it, they do their thing, and then they go back. And then like once a week they have to go on and do like a physical test. What was interesting is like this spacecraft has artificial gravity. So like they're pretty advanced in 1969 because also how sophisticated the
I mean,
robots
yeah,
were.
they're transferring the consciousness between like,
Not
however,
even
yeah.
that, like how sophisticated the robots were, but
Oh yeah,
then it was like, but then the rest of the world was still not as technologically advanced. So I don't know how that worked. Like the cars were still old, but
So
like
weird.
the robots were fucking had these like hydraulics and whatever, but they weren't strong. They were still had the same strength as humans. Cause that, like that, I didn't understand that. Like this thing's a robot, but like he couldn't fight off like four
you know how I
people.
always laugh about like you nitpick certain things that
Yeah, yeah, I
have
know.
nothing to do with anything, and that's what bothers you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, but it's like
No,
it's
but
like
he has a point though.
I'm
It's
not,
like if you
I'm
have the
not saying that that's
power,
wrong. I'm just saying
like
it's
the
like
knowledge of consciousness alone is just like mind
to
blowing.
transfer
But they
consciousness,
can't.
but
yeah.
yeah, your robot can't
They don't
defend
even have
itself.
Bluetooth. Like
Yeah, and like you can't like your robot doesn't have any extra strength. Like what the like.
Yeah.
no
And then
reinforcements.
why are cars still like that? Why are the movie theaters still really old? They still had like records I just didn't understand it. Like it's cool that they have this space technology or whatever. Um but at the same time it's like how is the rest of the world still this not far
I don't know
along?
because I mean they really just showed an old town. That's what I remember. I watched it not realizing they were in
Yeah.
1969. I thought they were in modern day. They just lived in this older town that they used older shit. That's all I thought about.
No,
I
no.
didn't even pay attention to that. I was just like, I'm
Cuz
focusing
even
on
the
the actual
clothes
story.
were old.
Yeah,
Yeah, nah.
but still, I was like, I wasn't so much focused on the setting. I was focused more on like what's happening.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
and the honestly, the thing that I found most intriguing in this whole episode was like, holy shit, they found Josh Hart and he's still acting.
for real though. This is actually my favorite episode, even
Yeah,
though it was predictable. I
yeah,
like both the actors, Josh
yeah,
and I forgot his name, Jesse Pinkman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
I always forget his name.
but just the whole concept, setting aside the technological
Yeah,
whatever
Yeah.
and technicalities, it's like just the. I guess I was empathizing with Josh Hartnett's character, like. Pretty much his family gets killed, and now he's alone on the ship, and he
In
can't
front of
experience
him
Earth
too.
anymore.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, yeah. So it's And I thought it was pretty kind of Kate Mara to be like, hey, why don't you do this? Help him out. Let him use your body. And then,
Hmm.
you already know where it's kind of going. But
Yeah.
just the fact, like the sign, I mean, like the idea of it, the concept really
Still
was,
cool, yeah.
yeah, really is sci-fi. And I really love that sci-fi.
So I
And it was
wanna.
cool, so cool to me to see like how Josh Hartnett kind of like fell for her and made stuff awkward. And then, the tension between them on space and on Earth is just like,
So I want to ask you guys a question. Like I knew where it was going and like he killed them, but like what's the point of killing them? Like sure he got hurt because the Jesse Pinkman was like she didn't want you blah blah blah. He said all this shit to him that kind of like triggered him. And then he went and killed them. It's like, all right, you killed them. Now he can't go back to his family. And now he's stuck up there with you. But like what doesn't stop him from like fucking just
They both want to survive. They need the other person to survive now.
it's a
sure, but
two-man
it's
mission.
like, but then neither of them have anything to get back to. Like, if I was Jesse Pinkman and he killed my family, now I have no, like, my wife and child, and I have nothing to get back to, I'll fucking kill him.
Yeah, but
Like,
at the
there's no
same
point.
time, it's just
Like,
like not everybody thinks that way. Some people are just like,
sure,
that sucks, but I still want to live life.
nah, fuck it. I would
You
have
know?
murdered
Survival
him.
instinct.
I would have murdered the shit out of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where who's to say like their mission's over, they get back, and then as soon as like it lands, first thing he does is fucking beat the shit out of Josh Hartnett because like I know I'm safe now.
Yeah.
Like he could still do that, but it's like that, and then Josh Hartnett's kind of just like, look,
Patience.
your wife did this to me. I want you to feel my pain, and I don't want to be stuck by myself. So now you can't leave. Now you're trapped here with me.
Yeah.
There's like a couple things that, and he's fucked up in the head, obviously.
No, yeah, obviously he's fucked
Yeah,
up in the head. I would have still murdered him.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he did lose his family, so I mean, there's a lot going on there. So it's
exactly.
like
Yeah,
it's a trauma, and he is just a weird guy, and the
Sure,
situation.
but
They're
at the
alone in
same time,
space.
he's also fucked up for what he did,
yeah,
trying to take his wife away and shit.
you're
Trying
right.
to, yeah,
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 and obviously, the murder.
yeah. But
But
still,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I mean,
I would
but
beat the
yeah,
shit out of him, but like, I, I'm also trying to survive. I'm not trying to die. Like
yeah.
nah, fuck it. I'm murdering him.
survival
He's gone.
instinct. I could find a new family.
I'll do it myself. Fuck it. I'll find a way to do it myself. But he's going.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what's
know.
up.
I'm sending him to his
Okay,
family.
do it.
All right.
I like that. I like
Um.
that for you.
All right. Episode number 4, Maisie Day. Now this was a twist I did not see coming, um, but it was a very interesting one.
I'm gonna be real. Just did not like this episode. Period.
It
Yeah, I'm
was
on the same. I didn't really like it either. I
Like,
love
just
Zazie
didn't like
Beats,
it.
but
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't know. It's
uh,
just a little flat. The whole thing felt a little flat, like they were building and building and building, but
it
I don't
was
know. It just didn't catch me.
interesting
Yeah, it was
in the
just
sense of like the dynamic of like seeing how the paparazzi was acting and like dehumanizing this person and
yeah.
and this obviously happened, not maybe not as much now, but it did happen back in the day a lot, and paparazzi was brutal. um and I feel like that was all a device to kind of like distract you.
And paparazzi didn't end. Like it still happens.
I never said that.
You said like it used to. Like
No, I said no. What I said, the way they're acting now, I said it probably doesn't happen as much now, but it used to happen a lot more. Like the way they were acting, like dehumanizing her, and like I'm
I
sure
don't.
it still happens now. I
Yeah, I'm
just
sure it
feel
still
like it's
happens the
not as
same.
much
And go
as.
to TMZ.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think it happens any differently. I think it's still the same.
I feel like you can easily like cancel people now. So it's just like I feel like they've reined it back a little
Yeah,
bit, but that's besides the point.
yeah.
I feel like they in this episode they used the paparazzi as kind of like a distraction, and then they kind of just threw in the werewolf. It might have not been built up like as well, but I also thought it was funny they were always trying to get the picture, and then they just fucking got there just dying like she's turning into a werewolf, and they're like, wait, I gotta, and they're like, he's getting real close, and I'm like, this is how people die in the wild, like trying to take pictures and shit.
I mean, this is.
I like
I mean,
how
if you,
that
yeah,
one dude's instinct was like, "We gotta go." As soon as
Yeah,
he saw like bones cracking, he's like, "Boo, we gotta
yeah,
go,
yeah.
Bo, we whatever."
But then
Like,
he was stupid when he was in a restaurant. He was still trying to take pictures and fucking got murdered. Like it's like, come on, bro. Like,
But like
this one,
even non paparazzi, like how often do you see like videos of like shootings or something going on, and there's always like there's at least like 12 people with their phones like about to get shot, and they need to record. Like even like take away the paparazzi aspect, it's still like that's just people's mindset nowadays. It's like,
yeah,
oh, I need the content, I need to catch what's
for the
happening,
gram.
risking my exactly like
yeah.
it's you know
The clout is more important than their lives at this point.
yeah.
Honestly, this one though for me was like another one of those like really cool concept, but just I don't know. Like I really do like the concept, like even the paparazzi, but I don't know. The big reveal kind of just
Yeah.
didn't do it for me.
It's
But
just
the
like I
concept,
did.
like hearing it, sounds really cool. It's like, oh, they mislead you with the paparazzi. You're looking for this, like, drugged out, strung out, and then it turns
Yeah,
out to be a werewolf, and it's
it's
like
like
that sounds
what
really
was
cool
this?
on paper.
Yeah, it's like what is this episode about? Like, is it about the paparazzi? Is it about this chick? Like, what is like? What's the twist? And then all of a sudden, it's like a werewolf, and it's like maybe if they showed a glimpse of something when she hit that guy, but like they didn't show enough for like, oh, maybe it's something supernatural, maybe it's something this, maybe it's something that. And
Yeah.
it's like the whole werewolf thing came out of left turn. um but yeah, I mean it was all right, but then it's like, all right, well, all right, this was kind of weird.
I mean,
Yeah, like
I felt like the werewolf twist. To be honest, like I was cool with that. I liked how it literally came out of nowhere. It's just I feel like the build up. You know, there was no build up. Let's be real.
it wasn't
It-
composed well. Like the
yeah,
story wasn't like fitted
exactly.
well within it. Like
It's like,
like I
hey, I don't
enjoyed
want to
the
take pictures, but now I
yeah.
do want to take pictures. Oh, look, there's a werewolf. Like,
Yeah, like yeah, it's like where the fuck, like what,
I was
did
like,
the
okay,
AI write this? Like what
what
happened?
happened? Yeah,
This is my
Maybe
last job.
it's a lot of
Oh
money.
man,
I need it. And werewolf. Okay.
boom. It's like it sounds cool, but I don't know, just a little flat.
it
They
could
need
have
to
Yeah.
been
redo
done
this one.
better.
They make it a
Yeah,
movie. I'll watch
Yeah.
it.
All right. Episode 6. Last one. Demon 79. Um, I really love this episode. This was my favorite
I
episode.
liked it. Yeah,
Um, I love the
I
concept.
like the demon dude. I just thought he
Yeah, he
was
was
really funny.
hilarious. I loved him. And my whole thing throughout this whole episode, I was like, oh, he's just like, there's no calamity, and like he's just doing this so they can corrupt her soul and drag it to hell, and
Just
it was
pure
just like,
evil manipulation.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, holy shit, there was a calamity, and they were right, and it's like the whole world is being destroyed,
yeah.
like nuclear fallout. Which I was like, I loved that was actually true.
See,
At the
I did
end,
believe it. I did, though. I did assume
I
that it
didn't
was going to
believe it.
happen.
I
Okay.
I thought it was like, oh, this girl is like a sweet. She is corruptible, but how do I get her to be corrupted?
Yeah.
And oh, she can save humanity by murdering people,
No.
and there's no really humanity to save. Like there's nothing, no calamity is gonna happen. I just need you to kill 3 people so I
Makes
can
sense.
get my mission done, or else I'm fucked. Um, but then like when the calamity happened, I was like, oh, this is fucking fantastic. Like I was really happy about that ending. But what was crazy is like the that politician and how it related to a previous, to season 4, the episode of Metalhead. They show you like these robot dogs that kind of like are destroying
Yeah.
humanity. They're like kind of killing everything. And apparently it's this politician who put that into
Shoot it.
motion,
Yeah.
which I was like, "Oh my god, that's like a
Yep.
crazy cool callback." And like there was like, it was like 2 other things, so I'm just going to share something else.
Mhm.
Um
But no.
So and actually they even foreshadowed this in episode 1
What?
with
Loch Ness? Oh,
no,
I said
with
Loch Ness.
Loch Ness, yeah. Loch Henry, but
Yeah.
no, the with uh what's her name? Something is awful.
Joan.
Joan is awful. She was scrolling through like I guess news or whatever, and like this is the protest with the UK Prime Minister Michael Smart, which
Mhm.
was that guy
Mhm.
who was running for um, whatever office, like
Yeah.
lower office. So they were protesting him. So in her timeline, it's like he's already prime minister and he's starting this bullshit.
Yeah.
But then, like, they were showing this episode of like the past, but in an alternate timeline where he doesn't get to do that, and like the world gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So it was like a bunch of awesome things, and I really loved the foreshadowing. I really loved all these like connections they're starting to make, because one of the things that I really was mesmerized by this episode is like, where did these robots come from? Why are they just like killing everybody? You know what I mean? Like, what is their purpose? And it's kind
Mm.
of like, okay, so maybe this guy created a military state, and this was how they, and then they kind of like just lost control of the AI, and
Yeah.
like it's just all,
I just assume Terminator.
yeah.
Like anytime it's like evil robots, like, oh, Terminator happened.
But it's just like the way these things were built were like, they
Oh
were
yeah,
like almost indestructible. Like they're
yeah,
solar powered. They're like fucking. They grabbed the knife. Like I was just like, holy
yeah.
shit! Like this thing is ridiculous. But I don't know. I thought I loved the episode. I loved her,
She
like
was great.
their
The actors were
relationship.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I loved like the demon, like the guy, and like I loved his outfit. Like everything about it was like a lot of fun, and
yeah.
like their dynamic was fun. I was really hoping she would kill her coworker, um, but she
Coworker
didn't.
was great. Like she portrayed just being an annoying piece of shit so
Yeah.
well. Like it's you don't always see that.
No, she really did, but
Especially
it
for
was
such
a
a
lot of
small
fun.
role, you know.
Yeah.
But between that and then you have the I don't know, when I first saw it initially, I saw the main character was like, "Oh, she's a psychopath." Like
Yeah.
the first time they show her, because it's like she's picturing
Yeah.
how she's going to murder everyone. And they were like, "You have to kill somebody." I was like, "All right, she's got this in the bag." Like she
Yeah.
dreams about it all the time. And then it's the whole like, "Oh, I don't know if I can." I was like, "Stop hiding. You know you could fucking do it.
Yeah.
You imagine this every day." Like, but yeah, no, I liked it. I did like it.
Yeah, that was my favorite episode of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disco, what you think about this? Are you on mute?
I really enjoyed it too. I just like I said in the beginning, I think the black dude, the demon dude, like made it for me. The
Mm-hmm.
way he just came in and he was all crazy looking, and he was just like, "Hold up, let me just change my appearance to fit you." And
Oh
that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
also what led
yeah,
me to believe, like, I think he's manipulating her. Like
yeah,
he can change and like do whatever he wants. So I'm thinking like, and then, like you said before, she had the flashback. So I was like, she's definitely gonna feed off that. Like maybe bring out that evil that's already there, and
yeah.
like water those seeds. And then she had her first kill, and then she had to kill again too.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the buildup between everything, and then I think this probably was one of the better episodes, definitely in the season. Um, and they ended it strong. So I mean,
Yeah.
I give it to them. This one definitely uh, all around, I just enjoyed it, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you couldn't really see where it went. I mean, you had like different paths, but like you didn't really know. So it's like
Yeah.
to see it all unfold. I thought that was very entertaining. So
Yeah.
definitely, probably check that one out. Probably one of the better ones, if not top or second for me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I also really enjoyed at the end that he's like, "Oh, in the fine print, you can come with me to the abyss or whatever I'm going," and she's like, "All right, why not? Let's go." I was like, "Okay."
See that ending, that very end part, that
Yeah.
feels like Black Mirror to me. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, people always talk about like side tech. Every once in a while, they have like these unhappy happy endings,
Yeah.
and I was just like, that was one of them, like to a
Yeah.
T. Because there was the San, what the fuck was that other one from years ago, San Bernardino or some shit, whatever the fuck it was
Mm.
called, where it was like this lady, she was dying, and she would like meet her friends, and she was like a younger version of herself, and that was like kind of, I don't remember if it was like a euthanasia thing. It was like an old woman, and then it was just like when they finally passed away, they moved to this other area. Like it was like
Oh,
it was nothing like the other Black Mirror episodes. There was like no horror element to it, but it was kind of just like an older person like passing away and being at peace now.
was it the one where you can upload your consciousness into the? Wasn't that
And
it?
I think so,
She was
something like
like,
that.
she was in
Afterlife.
the computer,
Yeah,
and like
something like that.
she would go into like these different time periods
Yeah,
and like have parties or whatever, and it's
exactly.
kind of
Yeah,
like showing her, be like, oh, you can sign up for this, and when you die, we upload your consciousness into
yeah,
this supercomputer, and you can just live your days in here. Your
yeah,
consciousness can live within the computer. Your body will die.
yeah. So I thought that was like
Yeah,
it
no,
was
that
one of
one
those.
was really cool. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed that
and
one.
that's what I'm saying. It was like another like unhappy happy ending where it's like
Yeah,
there was some like I forget I can't remember exactly. It's been so many years now, but something where they spoke to somebody who somehow knew this person, and it was
yeah,
like a whole thing. It was like, oh my god, they passed away, but they're in a better place now or
yeah,
something, and you actually know that they're in a better place,
yeah,
like
yeah,
subconsciously. But yeah, no, it was like one of those endings.
yeah. No, that one was a thinker too.
Yeah,
It made you ponder after it. Oh man, okay, that was a fun season. Its good moments, had its bad moments. Overall, I think I agree with Dan. It wasn't the best Black Mirror season that we've seen so far, but it was definitely better than most shows that are out now. So,
yeah.
um, it was definitely a nice break from everything. So, Disco, should we jump into your reviews?
Yeah. Last thing I just want to say, I felt like this season they played it very safe. Like I feel like they didn't push the boundaries like they used
Mm,
to, but they still made
Absolutely.
it enough. But still, definitely
I
check it out.
agree
That's
with
last
that.
now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I have two TV shows. And honestly, to preface this, these two shows are probably the best shows I've ever seen in a while. And
Okay,
so
that's kind of
I
a
just want to
hard sell for
share
me
the
right now.
share these with y'all.
The moment I hear it's a TV show, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
All right, the
I'm
first one
starting
I'm
to
going to
be,
start off with is
I'm starting to be cynical
from.
like Dan at this point.
Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So from season two, just finished last week. I saw it with the fam, and this season was wild, just as crazy as the first one. And I think it's hard for TV shows to really do that. It's like
I've
you
never
have a
even
really
heard
great
of this.
first
Yeah, I don't know
season.
what this is.
Uh,
Where is it
this
on?
show is a sleeper show. Right now, it's on MGM. Originally, it was on Epix,
Okay.
but I guess the show is pretty much these group of people in the first season were driving and all of a sudden they saw a knocked over tree and then they got past the tree and they ended up in this like pocket dimension town where at night pretty much not demons but like monsters come out and they
Mm.
eat you and pretty much rip your body apart completely. Like they show the
Sounds
bodies and
familiar.
it's like literally your face is like off, your body's like guts everywhere, and they like break bones, they torture you to death. It's an awful, awful way to go. And there's like a bunch of them that come out at night, and they're so creepy because they have this huge smile, and they don't run just like Jason. They'll just walk after you, and then they eventually get you with numbers. Like they'll surround you,
Mm.
and there's a real cool concept. At night, they have these talismans that they have to leave hanging on their door, and it keeps these monsters out. And if you don't have the talisman, they they swarm in and just kill everybody in the house. And they have a couple episodes where the monsters like will get into your head and like with like psychic stuff and just tempt you and have you open the door, and they'll they'll like apply pressure to kids and show like try to get them to open the door, convince them some crazy story why they had to do the wrong thing
Yeah.
and get their whole family killed. And it's it's crazy concept. It was creators Lost. The people that made Lost also made this, so it's like they're really good at
Makes sense now.
creating mystery. And like for me, it felt like they're just creating all these questions, and it's like super interesting questions like where are they, where do these monsters come from, who are these people, like is this even real, are they dead, all these crazy questions. And they did a very good job of creating a million questions and answering just enough in juicy ways to like just keep you hooked. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show at this current moment. They second season followed suit. I can't even describe to you. It's just so many questions, and then they answer questions, and there's just so many more questions that come from those answers. And it's sci-fi, so it's like crazy monsters and other music box monsters. It's very Stephen Kingish, very out there, very uh, intense. I don't know how else to describe it, but honestly, man, I can't wait for season three. Like this is like a 5 thumbs up for me. I can't recommend it enough. I just love the premise. I love the goriness. I love how they're just kind of baiting you with every episode, just like I need to know more. I need to know more, and I kind of always just keep having that feeling after every episode, and it's just it's quality cinematography for me. I really love this show, and
Nice.
honestly, it really is a low key show. I feel like nobody knows about it, and it's
I've
like I couldn't
never
even
heard of this
find a
show.
picture. I couldn't even find a picture for like to produce. Like I luckily found this
Not for
picture,
nothing. I feel
and
like they didn't pick the greatest name.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
from
that's
because
probably
they
why.
kept thinking it was like
Yeah.
connecting word, not like a TV show from.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
anyway, this
hopefully they can end it better than they ended Lost. So,
oh, I hope so. I hope
yeah.
so. I don't know. They ended this last season crazy. It's very lostish, but like
Yeah.
more, uh, just not as like a million pieces like Lost,
Yeah.
where like I felt like
I mean,
nothing.
hopefully if I find some time, I can give it a shot because it does sound interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Sounds good, man.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, 5 thumbs up. It's got this even the same dude from Lost. As
Yeah.
this dude on the left is from Lost.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'll move on to my next show. But man, I can't recommend the show highly enough. I just ran a rave. I can't stop. I want this next season. I want time travel just because of it. Um, and the next show is an Apple TV show. I really got to compliment Apple TV's catalog. They have really good stuff, at least in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I don't know what's
That's what you reminded me.
happening.
I forgot to cancel my Apple TV subscription.
So what we have here is this show called Silo, and the premise is pretty much there is a society in this huge silo. It has like 150 or 200 floors. It's in the ground, and pretty much there was a rebellion 100, 200 years ago, 150 years ago, or something like that. And in this rebellion, all of history got like history books and anything with history got burned or destroyed, pretty much. And so this new government that took over made it like law, what they call the pact. It's like our constitution, they call the pact, and they always refer to the pact. They're like, pact says that we can't do this, pact says this, pact says that. We can't have relics, like stuff from our time. It's funny because they had a quote unquote relic, and it was a Pez dispenser, and they're looking at it like, what the hell is this? Like, I
Wow.
thought it was so funny. And it's a really interesting story because they really do create their own culture in this silo, and they have different classes, and it's really interesting to see uh, how they create this world. I'm always fascinated when you create alternate universes and how it's they create this crazy silo world. Like there's different levels. At the bottom is mechanical, and it's like the bottom dwellers. Of course, they're gonna get all the crap because it's like, oh, crazy people at the bottom. What do you do? Eat babies? Like, you know, it's a and then the top people are all the rich people, of course, the wealthy, top of the line politicians and stuff,
Yep.
and they do a lot of stuff to control who's being born and not born, and they choose docile, submissive women as opposed to the strong, you
Hmm.
know, boss ladies, because they're trying to create a certain type of society that won't ask questions, so they don't want to inquire about our past and
Yeah.
figure out why they're all living in a silo. But of course, there's always those a few bad apples, and this show follows them. It's got a lot of great actors. Rashida Jones. It's got Common, and I forget this main character lady, but she did really well too. um, Phenomenal job of acting on all their parts, and I just love seeing how they built everything. You know, just this whole universe and the unraveling of like what you think is happening, and like of course it's like the government, you know, conspiracy type show, but just the way they ended it too is just I was not expecting that at all. It was they led you one way and then they just like pulled the rug under you, and it's just left me like I need the second season. This is
Yeah.
BS. How dare they have such good writing? Apple TV, like it
It's
was
like
just
El
so good
Hoyo
through and
meets
through.
meets the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, man, it's just a great show, and it's part of the pact is like if you say you want to go outside, like, and anybody hears it, you, it's pact law that they're gonna kick you out, and you don't get to come back in, and it's just crazy rules. I love that, and there's a
How
crazy
is the
like.
outside? Is it looks like it's barren? Like, was there like nuclear war or something? Like,
um, the outside is very important. I can't tell you really about it. You have to
okay,
watch
okay,
it because the
all right,
outside is pretty much bread and butter for this. And
okay,
pretty much they're in the silo. They have screens, and the screen shows you what's outside. And then when, like I said, if you say you want to go outside and they kick you out, they give you a like a spacesuit, and then they give you a wool rag, and they call it the cleaning. That's pretty much you're getting sentenced to death. And so they give you the wool to clean the camera outside, so everybody in the silo can see outside.
mm,
Seeing outside is like a huge thing in the show, um, and that I can't ruin it for you. That's the bread and
okay,
butter of it.
okay.
You have to watch it to really know what's outside.
All right,
um,
sounds good.
yeah, this is another five thumbs up show. I don't really give five thumbs up, but this one I don't have enough thumbs to just say how good it is. Um, so highly recommend it. Just like From, I was blessed enough to have two amazing shows that really rocked my socks, and I got to see it with my family, my new family that came over cross country. My fiance's family came, and we all watched it for her father's birthday. So it was like a
Nice.
really cool experience, and the show did not disappoint. We were all just like, what, you know? So definitely check that out. And that's it for my segment.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Seems very interesting the way you're talking about them. I might give them a try. Hopefully, if I have the time. But uh, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Um, I mean, G1 Climax starts next week.
Ooh, super hard.
Oh,
Okay.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually maybe not next week. I think it's the 15th. But
Yeah.
yeah, not much to say.
That's yeah. Next week.
Yeah, okay. So
Next
G1
Saturday.
Climax, biggest climax in
Yeah.
NJPW history.
Oh.
32 participants.
Oh damn.
Yeah, 4
You got-
blocks. They actually
Oh
got A through
shit.
D now.
That's a
Oh
huge climax.
Yeah,
damn, bro.
no, it's
It's
a
gonna
bunch of
be.
people. Yeah,
That's wild. It's a wild
yeah. So
climax.
I look forward
BP
to
men and
watching
women
that.
climaxing
It's
everywhere.
just a man, but yeah, no.
Oh, that's
Oh,
even better.
Bukaki. Okay. All right.
BP men just climaxing all over
Yeah,
the fans.
no.
I love that.
Very excited to see Eddie Kingston going to be in
Nice.
there. So very very good to see him participate in the climax. First time ever.
Very very cool.
Yeah.
Um, for those of you who don't know, go check out the LWGF VGL season 3. It is a fantastic fucking season.
Dude, this season is incredible.
It's like we're all
You
so
missed out,
close
Disco.
in
This is like one
points.
hell of a year for gaming.
We're also close in points. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I'm in first place again by
Yep.
like 2 points.
Congratulations.
It's
Congratulations.
fantastic.
Hey, congrats! I
Yeah, man.
know. I wonder how
Don't worry. It's
that
gonna
was.
be. I'm gonna be murdered within the next like 3
July
months.
12th,
But
I got a game coming out. So.
yeah, bro, listen. In the next 3 months, there's so many big games coming out. It's gonna be wild, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody making moves. Rudy's actually playing this season, which is great.
So Disco,
Oh,
you
that
want to
must be
know?
nice.
Yeah, Disco. If you want to know how intense it is, like this past bid like week, every one of us bid on this one game that was
Yeah.
trying to come out. Like that's how intense it is this year.
Dude,
We all were
honestly,
trying to get the
I
same
was
game.
so upset when you announced it. I was like,
I was because remember we had a whole discussion about how it wasn't going to be there. I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, I went on this whole rant about why it wasn't eligible.
yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's eligible. I have to let it be known. I have to make it
Hey,
fair for
bruh.
everybody.
They need to do their own research. I
I
already
had to
knew it
make
was
it-
eligible
I
because I
understand,
saw
but I
it.
had to make it fair.
Nah,
I had to
fuck
make it fair.
Nah, you didn't.
Damn.
It was
Damn, it's
it's
intense
on
right
them.
Disco, how would you have felt if I went on this whole rant? Because Rudy was trying to get this one game. He's like, how come it's not eligible? I explained to him as per the rules as to why it
Oh,
wasn't.
the
Then the system changed and decided
Yeah.
that this game was eligible. How would you feel if because I knew I was going to bid on it. If I would have bid on the game and I would have won it after telling everybody that you
No,
can't bid on it.
That was a
Okay,
good
that's
call on
true.
your
That's
part.
true.
I would have been pissed
I get
off
Exactly.
what you
like,
mean. I get
you
what you
told
mean.
us not to look, and now you got
Exactly. That's why I
me.
was
See,
like,
but
I'm
I
not
was
gonna do that.
already bidding on it before then. Like I had already put
I
in
was
my
bidding
bid.
on it. I was gonna bid on it too, but I was like, I need to make this announcement for everybody.
No, like I had already put in my bid
Yeah.
before you put in your
Oh,
announcement.
okay.
So I
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah.
saw that it was eligible
Yeah.
because I saw like it became a full remake cuz I'm looking at games like every single day,
And
bro.
just so you're aware, to pull back the curtain a little bit,
Yeah.
I was gonna take the game out of eligibility myself
Oh,
because
dang.
that was
Okay.
another thing. Because I was like, what's today's date? July 5th, the year of our Lord 2023.
Uh-huh.
I still consider this game not eligible in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it eligible, but the system did, and I was like, I'm gonna let the system do its thing.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it should not be eligible.
Rudy bit $30 on that
He has the
shit,
most
bro.
money.
I
I knew
know.
he was gonna win it.
I was like
Yeah.
so upset. I was hoping like
Yeah.
I was hoping nobody like would catch that, and I was
Yeah.
just
Oh
gonna
no.
put in my bid, and I was like,
I was like, no, I was making it aware. I was making everybody aware of that.
I literally
If
put in my
Eslam got
bid,
it and
and
not
then you
and
announced it. I was like, fuck me, man. Now I'm not getting this shit. I was like, god damn it.
You came close.
Yeah. How much you bid on it?
I knew I only put like $16 on it.
Okay,
I knew I wasn't gonna
I
get
put
it.
21.
Yeah. Rudy had like what, like
77.
yeah, so he
at
had
the
enough
time.
to spend.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
was like.
put
He was gonna
30
get
bucks
it.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
had to save that money for the last half of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm already running a couple different strategies that I'm looking into. It's just like I think I'm gonna start utilizing trades right now. So
Ooh.
and for you, Eslam, for anybody else listening who's in the league for checking this out, yeah, I'm open to trades. So
Okay.
so
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Why don't you make a trade offer?
I needed to see how this past bid was gonna go for that to occur.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
trust me, I have a couple of contingency plans right now. I'm playing the role of Batman out here.
No, but it's been really fun. I've also been consulting with like Rusty because he's
Nice.
doing his own league. So I'm like seeing what they're picking, and I'm like talking with Rusty about it, and like we're like talking about games and like what's coming out, what's not coming out. Like,
No.
so I have that going on the side.
See, I still haven't gone as deep as like last season. I told you I was looking at
Yeah.
job openings. Who was
Yeah, I
hiring for
know.
what positions? I'm not doing that this year. This year I was like, I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah,
That between that and making bad decisions and everybody like stepping up and this being such a good year. Like honest to God,
it's a good year for gaming.
2023
Yeah,
is some people are saying the best year in gaming. Like it's incredible.
yeah, man. Honestly, the gamers needed it after what happened the past like couple years.
We had a lot of
Yeah.
good years in a row.
Like with COVID and stuff, a lot of stuff got delayed, and like I'm sure like good
Well,
stuff
bro,
still came out, but
No,
like
I mean, yeah, no, we had like during COVID, we had Last of Us Part 2, we had Ghost of Tsushima. You know, like last year was Elden Ring. Like we had a lot of good years. It's just this year is just like instead of one or two big hits, like every game is a fucking
yeah,
hit.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's so
Yeah.
many games coming out, like
Yeah.
it's wonderful. All right, well,
Man, y'all make me want to play next year. It sounds fun when everybody's actually like active.
play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Dan have always been
We've
active.
always been active.
Like
Disco, you
I just
jump in every
suck.
once in a while. I mean, I understand you're busy.
Yeah.
And Rudy, this is the first year Rudy played. And let's be real, Rudy's not playing all the time.
No, he's
All right.
not. But he is doing more than he did last time. So
I'm gonna
a
call
lot
Rudy
more.
out on his shit right now. Look at his list of games. Rudy is a fucking fraud. Like you look at his games, and it's just like he just picks big name games. He
Yeah.
has that, or if it's like, oh, this game has a lot of famous actors in it. Let me pick that. This man's just like, let me pick Resident Evil. Oh, let me pick a Crash, whatever. Like it's just a big franchise. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it's
Crash
good. That's
Team
all
Rumble
he picks.
was bad.
Yeah, he has 2 games. I got him 0 points, but they were
Yeah.
big name games. That's why he
Yeah.
got them. Yeah.
I took some risks and they did not end up well, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, Dan and I have always been like active, but usually I just suck and he dominates. So it's like sometimes I feel like I can understand if that gets boring, but hey, it's fun for me. I enjoy. I try. But any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, keep it in the vein of games. Play Final Fantasy 16. Honest to God, like whether or not
They got
ever-
robbed, man. I don't give a shit. Open Critic,
you haven't even seen the
fucked
fucking
up.
game.
They got
you haven't
robbed.
even seen this man's
They
just
got-
mad because he picked the game and everybody's praising it. Like, play the game. Form your own opinion, damn it.
Nah, they got robbed on that score, bro. That should have been like a 92.
Honestly, yeah.
They got robbed.
But no, this game, it's whether or not you've played Final Fantasy, whether or not you like RPGs, I highly recommend at the very least play the free demo
Mm.
that's on PlayStation. Play the free demo and then tell me you don't want to fucking play this game. Because
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. Like this game is insane, bro. It's like
Is it-
legit. It's between taking Game of Thrones, Naruto, fucking Dragon Ball Z, and like putting it all in one. And it's
Yeah.
just like it's insane. It's
all
That's
insane,
things
wild.
that are good.
dude. It's
Nice.
crazy.
Is that available on PS4?
Probably not.
No. Yep.
Damn.
Well,
I
there,
this game and now I got a
from
PS4. I'm like, what games can I even play with this? None anymore.
Oh, sir,
You got a
Sir, hang
PS4?
on. You have like the game that has the greatest console. Like the console has the greatest games like ever.
yeah, you got a lot
You
to play.
So what games? Damn,
Damn,
damn
then he
freeze! He got
froze,
so
yeah.
You
excited.
have a never-ending list of games.
Yeah.
Well,
Just go.
so now
go
I got a PS4. So definitely shoot me a little list so I could.
Yeah.
I like RPGs.
First game for you, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's your
Yes.
first game. That's your first game,
Yes.
Disco.
100% yes.
I'm out. I'm down for it. I've heard y'all talk about it. I've heard y'all talk about the second game. I like samurais.
Well, there's no
and
second
fighting.
game.
There's only
yet,
one
but-
game, but it's
yeah.
all right.
I can't wait till the second
Wasn't it
game comes out.
DLC?
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
DLC
Yeah,
did
but that's
come
not a
out.
second
Yeah, I
game.
guess. Yeah.
I thought that was the second game. My bad. I
Yeah.
don't
No,
know.
No, you're good.
it's just some extra content.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't really get
Uh,
into the DLC much. Like
I mean, I beat it,
I did
but-
the story, but I mean,
yeah.
their big thing was the multiplayer. You know me. with
Oh
multiplayer.
yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
We tried it once, and it was
Yeah,
just
where it's like this is fun. Let's never do it again.
yeah, it was all right. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like Ghost of Tsushima, like the story was phenomenal. Like
so
it was
good,
all
Disco.
good.
Like that's definitely it. Yeah, and try the Kurosawa mode when you do it.
Yes.
Gotta remember that. So I'm my final thoughts is I'm down for the PS4. I'm slowly gotta break in. I feel like I haven't touched the anything PS in like years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of have more games and more access.
Well, speaking of
I've been
PS,
playing a lot of stuff on Game Pass and Xenoblade on my Switch. So I've actually been pretty.
This guy's a gamer over here. Look at him.
yeah.
I know. I'm
Look at
not
this game
slowly.
over here.
I got like my own little corner in my house now and my own Wi-Fi with nobody else on it. So it's like
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Nice.
With the FTC like versus Xbox or whatever it came
Well,
out.
let me be me.
It came out that like Xbox is saying like there's a PlayStation 5 Slim that should be coming out.
Yeah, but it's like
yeah, I mean like they're guessing,
they're
so it's like
speculating. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like it'll be interesting to see, but I hope that's the pro version and not just like a Slim of the.
What it's 2023. Honestly, if
It should be
if we
coming
don't
out
get
next year.
if we don't get one next year or the year after, I'd be surprised. There's going to be an updated version of the PS5 for sure.
Yeah, because then Xbox also like through this whole court thing was like stating like the next gens should be coming out in like 2028. So the Half-Life would be because it came out in 2020, right? So we're about to be 4 years in. That would be the Half-Life if it's gonna get 2028. So yeah, we should be getting an updated system by next year. So
Nah. This trial, I obviously we haven't talked about it much of this podcast. This fucking trial is insane between what's going on with the FTC and Xbox.
yeah.
Like every week there's like crazy shit coming out. Xbox just keeps coming out there. It's just like we're losing. We're in third place. Let us fucking buy Activision. And then you have
and like I'm like I understand what Sony like doesn't want it, but like at the same time it's like you have a shit ton of exclusive games yourselves. Like why are you?
Yeah, but it's the funny thing is like they're not so much trying to stop the exclusive games. They're trying to stop them from buying. Let's be real, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's like, we don't want you to own Call of Duty.
No.
And then it's like in one of the early days of the trial or whatever, like they asked him, it was like they asked, I don't know if I forgot who it was on the PlayStation side. They're like, "What is this?" He's like, they're just basically like they said to Phil Spencer's like, "I just don't want you to have it." They're just
Wow.
being petty as fuck at this point.
It's wild.
That's
It's
like
like
it's,
it's insane.
Sony's like coming out as the villain on this, but it's
Well,
just like oh
they're
well.
both everybody's the villain in this because like Xbox
Nah, Phil
they're
Spencer's
trying
an
to-
angel.
I mean, he's Uncle Phil. Who doesn't like
Yeah,
Phil
Phil
Spencer?
Spencer. I
Phil
don't give
Spencer's the
a
greatest.
dude has bodies in the basement. I don't give a fuck. He's
Yeah,
an
Phil
angel.
Spencer's like the nicest guy in the world. But no, it's just like Xbox is trying to buy these games and make them exclusive, even though they say they're not. PlayStation's just like, no, this isn't right, blah, blah, blah. You know, the moment this trial ends, PlayStation's come out like, yeah, we fucking bought Capcom, guys. We bought
Yeah,
this. Like
yeah,
they're trying to do it the same. And
yeah.
Nintendo's just in the backyard playing with their fucking Play-Doh. Like
Eating sand. But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was my final thoughts. Thank you for listening to Los Wise Guys podcast. Maybe we can do one episode about the that trial. That'd be
Ugh,
interesting.
yeah.
We'll see once it's over. But yeah, thank you for
Xbox
listening.
and PS4 are going crazy, and Switch is like, we got Batman finally.
You remember that game that came out like fucking 18 years ago? We got it, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for
Just want
listening to
one
the
for
podcast.
Nintendo.
If you like what you hear, go follow us on social media. Go like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment below, let us know what you think, and go check out the Los Wise Guys website, loswiseguys.com. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.